Ayipuncha, hermanos y hermanas. Ayipuncha, hermanos espirituales, hermanas espirituales. Mi nombre es Juan Carlos, ecuatoriano y holandés, viviendo en Holanda, llamándote desde tu atención desde Holanda, trayendo tu energía, invitándote a esta experiencia que voy a hacer durante los siguientes 15-20 minutos. Mi nombre es Juan Carlos, nací en Ecuador y una de esas fue las razones por las que mis raíces siempre me llevaron a Sudamérica. Incluso me acuerdo cuando era pequeño, tenía el pelo también un poco largo, no tan largo como ahora, y amigos me llamaban indio, tenía la cara de indio. Inclusive luego cuando me mudé por Europa, también siempre tuve los rasgos cada vez más indios de los Andes, lo cual poco a poco realmente llamó mi atención tanto que realmente fue un orgullo, entender el orgullo de donde vengo, entender el orgullo de mis raíces. Y hoy día estoy haciendo algo especial, algo que no había originalmente planeado, algo que realmente está llamado por intuición, una intuición de compartir este live, de compartir lo que estoy haciendo ahora con esta ceremonia de Inti Raymi. ¿Qué es Inti Raymi? Inti Raymi hoy día es el día del solsticio, el día más largo del año, 21 de junio, la noche más corta del año. Estamos festejando realmente lo que significaría la celebración al Tata Inti, al dios, al sol. Para los incas, incas en realidad significaba, incas eran hijos de la luz, hijos del sol. La luz, cuando hablamos de la luz, hablamos de la conciencia, we talk about consciousness, we talk about so many interesting things connected to what today we are celebrating with Inti Raymi. So I just did a previous, I would say, introduction of what I'm doing actually today. Today I'm doing on a live a ceremony of Inti Raymi. Inti Raymi is this wonderful celebration that it has happened for centuries in South America. It's certainly famous from the Incas, from the different towns. If you go to Cusco, if you go to Bolivia, if you go to Peru, Ecuador, it's quite common today to celebrate Inti Raymi. And what we are going to do today is that we are going to add or fire to the huge celebration of fire that we have through all the Latin American countries. And I'm doing it here from Europe as well. And if you join today, you just can indeed find a candle and connect with my fire as well. So we are celebrating today the solstice. The solstice, the Inti Raymi. Inti means sun. Quick story, my sister, her name is Maria Sol, and I used to know people that actually later on will call themselves as well Maria Inti. Inti was the name of the sun, indeed. And Inti Raymi is indeed the celebration of the sun. Today what we're going to start first is indeed with Palo Santo. This Palo Santo actually comes from Cusco, from Peru. I was recently in Peru visiting the Lake Titicaca and Machu Picchu. Not only that, I visited a dozen of different temples, sacred places. For the Incas, in Quechua, they call it huacas. Huacas sign these spiritual, energetic places where in the ancient times, for the Incas, for the Indios, they would go to these places to connect with nature, to get energy of from Pachamama, from Mother Earth, Gaia, they call it in other places of the world, and to connect with this energy that actually will bring you back to center, will connect yourself with your light, with your consciousness. In a world where we're constantly being touched by different electronics, by different chemicals, by different scenes that are catching our attention all the time, like social media even, we also need to remember ourselves every single day to go back to our center, go back to our soul, our heart, however you want to call it. The name is just not important, really. It's the feeling of being yourself, feeling with yourself. So the first thing that I'm going to do today is actually a quick cleansing before we start. Imagine actually when you do a ceremony, normally when you enter into these places, you have a person in the door cleaning every single person. before they enter into the sacred temple. So what I'm going to do now is a quick cleansing as well of this video. Consider as well that even though this is live, if you dare to see this later, it's still going on. When it comes about time, present, past, future, especially if we see it with social media, actually it's all happening at the same time. That's just a perspective. What you believe, it's okay with you. If you believe that, it's fine. If it's not, if it's conflicting, don't worry. It's about the feeling that you have of entering into a place, entering into a moment, entering into a sacred place, entering into a sacred situation. Any situation, enter with the best intention, with the intentions of pure heart, with intentions of having your best thoughts. So this scene actually is, Palo Santo is one of my favorite. I use it actually at least once a week to clean my house, to clean my environment, my work environment. Normally I even carry some of them actually wherever I go. I actually do a quick cleansing. It's not the only way, but you can also have sash. For example, this plant, this different plant, it smells stronger. Actually, it's stronger. I grew up with Palo Santo. But in South America, we use Palo Santo, for example, to push the mosquitoes away. So this actually was another way actually to clean these ceremonies, these places. Now, cleansing. Today we're connecting with the God Son, Inti, Tata Inti. Tata is Father. So the first thing that I want to start doing while we are moving ahead is actually to start my fire. You can imagine actually today it's about the harmony of the four elements: water, fire, earth, wind. And in this case, today being the longest day of the day actually that we're the closest to the sun, actually we're also talking a lot about the power of the fire, of the element fire. Fire is an element that actually can help you to transform anything. So if you consider the fact that everything that we create in life comes from a thought, everything that you see around yourself started with a thought. Anything, your food, the way, your house, the place, anything that you wear, it started with someone having an idea of wanting to create this. So if we come to the concept that actually everything starts with a thought, everything starts with an idea, consider that the idea is actually already energy. So what we're going to do today, what we are doing in Inti Raymi, is actually using our intention to create transformations. To create transformations that we want to see through the next year, through the next months, and starts today with the longest day of the year. So we're going to use fire for this. I created a ceremony actually that actually is quite safe for me in this place where I am. And I invite you, if you have a candle, if you have something actually you can light it please. If you have a white candle, you can actually start creating. Just put a white candle in front of you so your fire can connect with the energy of the fire that we're going to do today. We're going to do a fire, we're going to do a ceremony, and a few steps where I'm going to explain most of the things that I learned on how to do this ceremony as an Inti Raymi. I learned it from Apu Panipuma, which is my mentor, spiritual mentor, and he's from Ecuador as well. He was guided to create Munay Suyu, to bring the prophecy of Munay Suyu, which is the fifth area of love in the world, and it's located in Ecuador as well. Now, so let's start first with fire. Now, whether you are from the Incas, whether you are from the Celtics in Europe, India, anything, fire has always been part of the ceremonies. In any case, actually, fire has been always the start of with a candle, of an evening, or with a spirituality. You tend to find it everywhere. So that's what we're doing now. We're actually I'm creating a small fire to invite fire to this ceremony, and placing it in this place that I have created to start creating my fire. We're going to use fire for transformation, as I mentioned. Now, fire is not the only element that we are using today. In fact, I'm not wearing shoes because I'm grounding as well, connecting with earth. We also have water. We have and we have the wind that is actually helping us to work with the fire today. Now, if you consider something, the sun is indeed the connector with the element of fire, and the element that actually the cosmic element that we have to connect us with another element is the moon. The moon is the one that actually connects us with the element of water. Why is this actually interesting? For me, it's interesting because this day of Inti Raymi also has to do a lot with duality. Duality is about the harmony that is between the two elements, the two energies, the masculine energy and the feminine energy. Everyone has a masculine and a feminine energy. So every person, actually every man, every woman has these two energies that need to be in harmony in order to create really the life that you want to create, the life that actually you want to embody, the days, the family that you want to have, and how you want to actually express yourself. Now, my fire already starting getting into there, and what I also want to mention is that indeed, so what are we going to do today is actually that this ceremony starts with creating a fire, and I have a safe environment. You can start visualizing that candle that you might have. If you have a candle, you can start over. If you have incense, you can just start an incense, just place it close by, and you will be able to be connect to the fire that actually I'm creating here. Now, for reasons of safety, actually I do have a place with all the situation just in case, to make sure that actually everything is in alignment to what I'm supposed to share with you today. Also, I have as offer a ceremony, una ofrenda. Una ofrenda is something that actually is what you create as a present to the Tata Inti, to the sun. An offer is something actually I learned this week on how to make them. You make them actually with specific elements, especially for the Inca way of doing it. And you can see across the globe how many cultures use these offers to give to the gods, their thank you, their appreciation for the change, for let's say some cultures do it, for example, for the spring when actually there's new food. Some cultures do it in the case actually, for example, for better health, a transformation that we want to have in our life. Today we are doing all of that. Today we are using the power of sun, the power of fire, in order to bring some transformations. So my next advice will be, start thinking on something that you really would like to transform in your life. What you would like to actually bring into your life that will bring you a step closer to that powerful person that you want to be. And when I talk about power, it's not about like having power over others. It's about being the authentic version of yourself, the person that actually completely is in alignment to the person that you're supposed to be, the vision, the purpose that you want to have in this life. Now, my fire is really already much more ready. So what I'm going to do next is actually show you a little bit of my, as you can see, actually it's already getting higher. As you can see here, basically this is my offer of today. So here is where I'm going to detail some of the things that actually you will find in my offer. We did it actually with my family. I actually really was actually touched about that. Just making sure that actually the fire is quite safe. Yeah. So now that I see that the fire is good, I created these specific things around my fire to make sure. Now, my offer actually has a few things actually. Of course, it has the flowers from the different colors that we wanted to bring. If you are doing an offer, you really want to do your best. You want to offer something that actually is beautiful for the sun to appreciate your effort, the love that you want to put, the compassion that you want to put, all those higher vibrations that you want to embody into your offer. Now, something actually I also learned is about not only the food, indeed, from that actually, in this case I use actually different kinds of nuts. I also I learned as well that you need to put honey. Honey is this element in our creation that indeed has been represented for so many benefits in the world. You see, honey actually can be used for medicine, not only for food. Honey actually represents the moments actually in the seasons where basically the summer has arrived, and you can enjoy all the different foods that actually your body can have for that moment. Honey is not something that you normally tend to find the whole year. So that's one of the things that we also learn about the Inti Raymi, about the Chacana, about all the experience that we have with the Incas, is that the world and this life is a continuous movement of learning. It's a continuous movement of change. There's always a cycle that we go through in life, in our nutrition, in our food, in our life, in our transformations, and in everything that actually we feel embodied to perceive every single day. Something also that is important actually is a fermentation. So in this case actually I have a fermented product, and for the Incas they use chicha. In this case they will have chicha in the offers. If you don't have a chicha, or you don't have a fermented product like I did actually, then you could use, for example, even a beer. Your local beer could give you some ideas of what actually you have. Beer has this fermentation, and the fermentation is about that explosion that you have from fermentation, and that explosion means a symbolic event of the transformation that we're looking through with fire. Now, my blessings for the offer of this year were about the health of my family, the health of my mother. In this case, for example, she's 80, she's becoming a better senior adult person, and I'm wishing just the most of health to everyone actually around my family, including myself. I started taking care of my health many years ago, and I'm just bringing that lessons of health in all the different layers, spiritually, physically, energetically as well. Now, everything that actually you want to change, in this case, for example, I also place it off the goals that we want to achieve as a person, the vision of my person, my sole purpose, and how I'm going to develop it through the next months. I'm actually looking forward to see the developments that already has happened, being thankful for the things that I already have achieved through the year. For example, I published a book called INSPIRAL VALUE just a month ago, and it had been an experience that I'm so thankful that it has happened through my life and everything that I have learned from it. So, okay, we have you have seen actually an offer. You can do an offer for yourself as well if you want today. You are connecting through this video already to my offering. As you can see, actually, even the universe is always talking to me. In this case, you can see the animals already coming here, actually being part of this specific ceremony today. Very thankful about that. And we are connecting. So everything that I'm doing here, please just put an intention for health, for business, for abundance, for a better relationship with your family, with your friends, with your parents, with your kids. Put all the intentions that you want for the transformation that we're going to do today. Alright, so before actually my fire already, it's getting really ready for the moment of the ceremony. So what I'm going to do now is light it up. In fact, I'm going to use the power of the methodology that I used before. So to make sure it's really lighted again. Using paper again. It was so strong already before, and actually I just wanted to explain as much as I could from everything that I got from these Inca Inti Raymi lessons that I got in the last months from Apuk Nyawpani Puma, who is the person that is embodying Munay Suyu in Ecuador. If you are looking for spiritual growth, from the Inca cosmology, from the Inca's ways, check out Munay Suyu. I'm actually involved in Munay Suyu as well, that's why I recommend it as well. It's located in the Amazons in Ecuador. Beautiful place, beautiful place. I'm actually going this year as well. Recently I was in Peru, and the connection of the love that you have with places like Peru, like London, Glastonbury, Egypt, you can find it in the Amazons as well. Right. So, just making sure that I have the fire like it was, which probably tells me that actually there is something more that I need to tell you before actually that the big transformation happens. Yeah, the fire went right away. So my lessons actually for before, once the fire is ready, what I'm going to share with you is about what we learned actually for Inti Raymi. Okay, we spoke about the duality. You should be able to harmonize your feminine side and your masculine side. You should be able to understand actually that everyone has these two energies. The feminine side is more protective and is more connected to the people, working with people, learning from people. And the masculine side is the creative, from working with things, creating things, tools, creating fire, creating actually understand a home. And the connection of both is what increases your possibilities of abundance. The connection of both internally increases your connections with fire. Just making sure that fire is happening. And the next thing that actually we're going to use is duality. There is something that actually is called the three suns. The sun that we have. Well, imagine actually that you see the sun. You can close your eyes, for example, any moment, and actually you can imagine three suns in your body. Like the chakras that normally people talk about, the 7 chakras. Imagine for the Incas is 3 suns. The 3 suns actually that has to do with your gut, the sun with your heart, and with your brain, with your mind. Now, the gut has to do with the feeling, the gut feeling. You know, actually people actually say the gut feeling. Well, for the Incas already for hundreds of years, this was the connection with the feeling of your emotions, the feeling actually of everything that actually is going around you. And the next one has to do with the heart. As you can imagine, when we talk in the Incas about the heart, it's almost exactly the same as in every other spiritual connection. In India, in Europe, we always talk about the heart because actually love is unconditional love is one of the highest frequencies that you can have in your life. So that's why the connection with love is quite important. And then you have the connection with the mind. Consider actually that the brain is an organ, but the mind, the creative mind, is what actually is connected with your, let's say, with your crown chakra, with everything that you want to achieve in the world of today, with your creations. And it's important, especially on these times, actually to understand the connection that you will have with yourself, with your heart, because the other two, basically, or feeling to the rest of the world, has been affected a lot in the last generations because of the way how we live. We have lost our connection with nature, and now we are actually losing as well our connection with ourselves, because with our thinking, because of all the technology that we are now having, actually AI. If you see the way how I work as a coach, I work with AI as well. Yet we always have to be careful about the impact that it may have on overtaking the way we actually knew already how to think, how to think or growth. So this is important about the three sons. Connect with the three sons, so you can actually understand how you're going to do this connection. For example, for today, with the three sons: the mind, the heart, the gut. My fire is almost getting ready again. Thank you for your patience, anyone that actually still connect. And what I'm going to do is indeed, actually, now I'm going to, in a moment, actually going to start placing the fire. Then I'm going to directly put now my offer, and doing a small breath work while this is happening, letting actually that the fire consumes and transforms my offer to Tata Inti, to the Godson. I'm also already seeing that I have still the last hours of the sun, so actually for me it's just exactly the right moment. In Cusco, in Peru, in Bolivia, in everywhere, this is already happening. This is already happening in many different hours. Some people actually do it at 12 in the afternoon, and then they start continuing. And for me, actually, for example, in this case, it's about doing it at the end of the day, when I already did everything that I wanted to do with my family. I started my morning with healthy habits. I went through loving ceremonies with my family. I did even a somatic yoga session today, and now I'm doing this. Now, to close my day, my fire is ready. I'm actually just going to, so you can see it a little bit in the safety. I'm just going to start. All right, we're ready. Starting my offering into the fire. And seeing the transformation happening. If you're interested to know, actually the music is called Alborada. It's from the group Alborada. It's a Peruvian music that I discovered while I was in Cusco. Beautiful music, especially for these kind of situations. Other questions that I normally had is about harmony, about frequency. Let's say, for example, now that I'm actually connecting to the sun, one of the things that I always keen in working upon is about how to not really focus on how to raise my frequency, my vibration, my awareness. It's about like what is what I'm doing to lower it down? What is what I'm doing it to stop, to put a break on it? And because every day actually we start with all of our power if we wake up. And one of the things that I do is, for example, is the clothes that I'm wearing. So I stopped wearing plastic clothing probably almost like 6 months ago. I try to keep always using actually only cotton and linen. The reason of it is because these clothes has also quite a higher frequency, they say, and I can imagine actually that it can be something that actually needs to be balanced. But they say that actually in the ancient times, for the Egyptians, the Peruvians did it for the mummies, they put their deads or the sick people in linen, and linen will help them recover. Now I'm just going to help a little my fire to get today. Connected to, if you're connected, all right, let's start. Now it's going. Should I say a ceremony? One of the things that I learned actually while visiting Cusco was as well a sentence, a prayer that I learned for transformation. And it was about transforming everything that has to do with that is blocking us. So in this case, for example, this priest that I used to be with, that I was with in Peru, used to say to always focus on bringing one ray of light from the sun. In this case, for example, we are using the sun, a ray of light to the Mother Earth, in connection with us, for us to be a vessel and to connect Mother Earth with the galaxy, with the sun, and to ask them to deblock, to dissolve any blockage, any mark, where it has been from any egregorion, from anything that actually has been in touch with us that we did not want it to be there, that it has been absorbing energy from us, and to go back into our natural being under the grace and divinity of consciousness, of light, and this to happen in every direction, in every time, and in every dimension. And so it is. Oh, the offer well went fast. So while my offer is actually indeed burning, maybe this actually will take a while. What I can imagine actually is that the other things that I'm called to share with you is that thank you for being part of this ceremony. Thank you to be part of this specific ritual. If you were called to know more about Inti Raymi, and the solstice ceremonies that the Incas did, I hope this event will give you a little more connection to what the culture of the Incas, of the South Americans, is all about. If you want to know more about how we do it, check out Munay Suyu. Check out what I share about Munay Suyu, about Apuk, Nyopani Puma, so you can see actually everything that actually we're going through throughout the year. In the Amazons, we do lives. People actually travel to Ecuador and stay there. You can stay there with your family, and have a complete ceremony, whether you want to do ayahuasca, for example, where you want to connect with the elements, you want to release some trauma. These are the situations, the things that we can do with Munay Suyu. If you want to know more about what we're doing digitally, check out my YouTube, check out the YouTube of Munay Suyu. There are some beautiful movies. If you want to know about Amarucan. Amarucan, for example, was the real name of the Americas, the name of Pachamama in Latin America, and the return of Pachamama into what is being connected to us, or that disconnection that we had with the elements, with Mother Earth, with Gaia, well they call it, and how this movie, Amarucan, explains all this in a very beautiful way. And it's not the only movie. We have 3 other movies as well. And there's a big news is actually that very soon there's also going to be some news about movies as well. Till then, actually, if you want to learn more about how we do our connection to consciousness, raise our awareness, raise our connection with our soul purpose, Munay Suyu and Inspiral Coach is always sharing now content. It's like this today. Much blessings, sending you beautiful energy wherever you are in the world. Inspirals, full of love and compassion. And if you have any questions, please just send me a DM, and would love to share anything that I can from my heart to yours. Finally, if you want to have even also a peek into the book that I wrote of inspiral value of how to start over in any situation, in any country, in any moment of your life, then I'm more than happy to share the book with you. So send me a DM and I will share with you a digital copy. That's it. With the sounds of Alborada from Sky, I thank you. I call all the ancestors, all my spiritual guides that were with me today to share with you love, compassion, and consciousness from me to you. Much love. Thank you for being here.